pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
First of all, let me introduce the present council seated in front of you. And we have myself as president, Al Walden as vice president, Stuart Groman as treasurer, Sally Horst, recording secretary, Sally Murphy, corresponding secretary. And additional liaisons are Everett Bird, Barbara Casey, Beverly Franz, David Lindgren, Ada Squires, Paula Van Leeuwen, and our parliamentarian always helps us out, Dick D'Agostino. We have Mayanne Sheldon. Mayanne, if you'd stand up and let everyone know who you are. We have newbies. Mayanne is our resident representative who's the voting member for the Eschaton Corporation Board. And next, I would like to give special thanks to Beverly Franz, Everett Bird, Sally Murphy, and Paulina Van Leeuwen for their excellent service the past few years. Thank you. They're going off the board, so let's give them a hand. Next, we have, besides Mayanne, we have three very important people who have served alongside the resident council. First of all, Laura Choate, who is the assistant treasurer, parliamentarian Dick D'Agostino, and Mary Dial, who is the non-voting member to the corporate board. Thank you all for your service. Now it is time for Stuart to give the annual report.
Okay. This is the various bank accounts that we have. And the first column are the accounts. The second column is the balance that started at the beginning of the year. And the third column is the amount of income that we received for each of those accounts. And then the expenses that we incurred and the balances as of October 31st. So let me tell you some of the activities that have happened. In the general checking account, we've collected $17,591. And out of that, Channel 88, primarily the masks and purses, we collected $5,112. Also, the treasure sales, we collected $5,791. The library had sales of shirts and books for $4,106. And the wood shop started selling their wood for $1,199.7, and the garden committee collected money, $574. And now the expenses for each of those. Channel 88, out of the $20,595, they spent $10,145. The Woodshop Committee also spent $5,588. The Library Committee spent $1,524. The Fitness Committee spent $712. The Garden Committee spent $471. And the Monthly Music Events Committee spent $400. The Arts Committee has spent $376. The Video Library Committee spent $351. The Bingo Committee spent $228. And the Flower Committee spent $200. And the Escatones Committee spent $181. And the Spiritual Life Committee spent $173. And then all the other committees totaled $223. And just last month, so far in September, the treasure sales have already collected over another almost $40. And the Woodshop collected over $2,000. And the Garden Committee collected over $25. And also expenses, Channel 88 spent another $3,000. Garden Committee another $25. The Art Committee spent over $400. Excuse me. Okay, now let's go to the scholarship checking account. The $27,211 are all donations from residents here. And the $18,000 were gifts to employees so far. And then the gift fund, which is the Employee Appreciation Gift Fund, as of October 31st, we've collected $96,058, and we've only spent $274, and that's primarily for the envelopes that we provide you to use. And I believe Laura Choate is going to discuss with us a little later what the current balance is on the Employee Appreciation Fund. And if anybody has any individual questions, you can see me after the meeting. I'll be glad to answer.
Thank you very much, Stuart. All righty, next we have a review of events of the past year. And it's kind of interesting because some of us thought nothing was going on, but Al Walden is here to tell us that that's not true.
She just stole my opening line, so thanks, Rose. People thought we were really stuck in here, doing nothing. But as I looked back, I found out things were happening. Voices of the Village has become a statewide, United States-wide publication. It's a very popular publication, and it deals with all of us in one way or another. There are new light covers in the main hall. They have plastic over them, and they shed more light. Also in the main hall, there is a new light over the art that is there by the Wellness Committee, the Wellness Place. Exercise in the pool and otherwise has picked up. Eschaton continues to show its generosity in the food and the clothing drives. And we thank you very much for that. Library, brand new. They have a new way of checking in and out, so you can't keep them forever anymore. They know you're where you live, so be careful. In these rooms, Most of us have gotten COVID-1, COVID-2, booster, and flu. So we are becoming very, very healthy. In this period of time, more than 80 new people have joined us here at Eschaton. The COVID did not scare them away. So we're very happy that they're here. Yvette has introduced us to K4. Most of us are still talking to K4. And sometimes we talk, it answers, we don't know why. So that's there. Bocce and golf this weekend had big tournaments. Turnouts were big. The players are more than usual. So if you're interested next year, bocce, and you can talk to Stuart about bocce and golf as well. We have, thanks to the Garden Committee, a beautiful new rose garden, which is now internationally famous. Thank you very much, Garden Committee, for that. The doors, most of them now open if you kick them. So they're automatic, and we hope they continue to stay that way.
Don't get too hard.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot about that. One of the big things that's happened here, early in the year, several people got together during one of the fire drills, and they wondered why this was happening. How do we get out? Safety committee was formed. Under Mary and Eve Bressler, this committee has been meeting diligently. They have fed you free meals. And I'm sorry, we've excluded the cottages out there so far. But so far, we've got good results. Yesterday was a test. The drill was a success. The drill was a success thanks to you who are here. Thank you so much for your cooperation, following your coordinators, going out the right door, ending up at the right place. An hour later, I wandered the halls. Nobody was lost. It was great. The safety committee has done a very good job. And the last thing that's new this year, tonight, 7 o'clock in this room, a Veterans Day service. We hope you can make it. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Al. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the election results. And in the front row here, we have the new members of the President Council who will be on the board starting 2022. And if they would stand up when I call their name and remain standing. First of all, Laura Choate, Barbara August, Ray Fish, and Shirley Poirier. Let's give them a hand. Thank you. And then the other election results were that Mary Dial was voted for a second term as our non-voting representative, and the revisions of the bylaws passed. And thank to all of you who voted. And that is the end of the annual meeting. This first meeting is sort of like when you get a hotel reservation or something that requires the person on the other end of the line to read you a statement of what's going on. And according to the bylaws, this first annual meeting was required. Now we are going to, so that meeting is adjourned. And I am calling to order the quarterly meeting of November 2021. And every year, in the beginning of our formerly monthly meetings, now quarterly meetings, we remember those who have left us, or the departed. So let's have a moment of silence for the following residents: Donna Mayhem, Don Robinson, Catherine Thompson, Marilyn Empey, Peg Berry, Dixie Taylor, Robert Miller, Selma Riskin, and Arlene Eldridge. And now it is time to welcome new residents, and I hope many of you are here. First, if you are here and I call your name, would you stand and remain standing until I finish all the names? Wolf Hoppy, Shargizi, John and Marianne Taylor, Pat Wood. Yay! Ed Freed, Marilyn Patterson, Babette Levin, Carol Brumond. Welcome, Carol. Bernard Schofield, Tara Kim, Dorit Abel. Welcome, Dorit. And Dale Inman. I think in the future what we will do is especially invite, thank you both for standing and welcome. I think what we'll do is specially invite new residents and have them possibly sit in a certain section so that we can officially welcome them. We'll work on the communication part of it. Let me see. Next, we have Stuart's monthly report. Stuart has a lot of work here.
This is the monthly report that I produce every month, a day after the end of the month. And they are put in the mail room on the wall so you could look at it. Unfortunately, this is just the first page. Unfortunately, for some reason, they didn't copy the second or third pages. But I don't know if you can't see it, but the second and third page lists all of the committees, every committee that we have, and the names of the committee chairmen, what their individual budgets are, how much they received, and how much they expensed. And if you want to see it right after this meeting, I'll be glad to show it to you. And also, there's one in the mail room right now.
The next thing I want to mention, since it is Veterans Day, I was hoping that all the veterans who are in the room would stand so we can acknowledge them. And also, Al mentioned that there's a program tonight in the auditorium And I hope many people can attend. It's a Veterans Day celebration. Thank you. Next we have Laura Choate, who is going to talk about the Employee Appreciation Fund.
I'm Laura, and it's really nice to see everyone here. It's just such a blessing. So I hear people are having trouble hearing. Is that better? Yeah, there we go. I have the pleasure at the moment of being the assistant treasurer, and my primary job has been to organize and lead a team of people who have been working to put together and then follow through with the Employee Appreciation Gift Fund campaign, which is a ton of words. So we shorten that up and we call it the Gift Fund. And what the Gift Fund is our way of recognizing employees. We appreciate all the work they do. If we look down at our feet right now, the reason this carpet isn't horrifically stained is because employees come in here. They not only vacuum, but they wash this rug, right? And follow after all of us. Throughout the community, we see these kind of things, and so what we want to do is say thank you. And unfortunately, we won't judge it. Eschaton has a policy, and it's not just us. Throughout the corporation, everywhere, in every facility, residents, clients, patients, whatever you want to call the people who are residing there, are prohibited from individually giving gifts of recognition or gifts at all to individual employees. Eschaton Village in 1992 said, okay, fine, let's figure out how to work with this. We understand the policy, we're willing to live with the policy, but how do we get around it? You know, how do we make this work? Because we do want to say thank you. We do want to recognize it. And so what we got signed off by corporate and then organized through the resident council is this gift fund. And it's a way for each of us residents, when we're feeling particularly grateful for staff of individuals or groups, we have a place where we can give some money. It's gathered all year long. We run a hot-footed campaign from September through the middle of December. And then at the end of December, we distribute that fund amongst the employees who work here on an hourly wage. For more details, you can see me or any of the team or pick up a brochure. It's all there and ready. Today, what I wanted to do is give you an update. So, you've all seen the thermometer. It's right here. And this thermometer is throughout the campus. We've got it in skilled nursing, we've got it in assisted living, we've got it throughout independent living. It's a way for you to see how we're doing during this hot campaign period of the fall. This thermometer came out October 31st, and so you've seen these numbers before as Stuart has reported to us. I have the pleasure today to give you the new numbers. You will see new thermometers going up November 16th, and they will be effective as of the 15th. But right now, today yesterday on the 10th, because we had to do a cutoff somewhere, we had collected $117,644 in contributions from 208 resident donors. That amount gives us 69.2% of our goal for the year. We only have 29 days left, people. 29 days and the campaign for this year is over. I also have some sad news today, and I was hoping to avoid this, but I can't. The sad news is that at this time, on November 10th in 2020, we had raised $130,000 in 97. So we had, at this time last year, $12,453 more dollars in our gift fund than we have this year at this time. We had had 231 residents donate to the campaign by the 10th of November. That's 23 more than we have had step forward and donate this year. So this is my plea. Please, please, join your fellow residents in expressing our appreciation to those who work to make our lives comfortable and blessed. In this season of Thanksgiving, let's recognize the people who make the many blessings we have here possible. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Laura. Next on the agenda, we have Sally Murphy to talk about the treasure sale.
This again has been a different year, but it's been a good year. The last big sale we had was October of 19. That was a long time ago, and we keep collecting things, but we've managed to sell a great deal of what we collected. In the last 2 days, I have sold $297 worth of furniture. We sold $60 of jewelry this morning, so it keeps on going, and it's wonderful, and it's a community project. On our last mini sale, 31 people did something. That says we are helping each other, and that's the part I like the best. We have no instant plans for the next sale, but there will be something along the pike. But it's amazing to me, and we had 2 new things this year. We had a lot of furniture that we had not sold, and we could not use the whole garage anymore, only a half a garage. And so I managed to connect with the Afghan Refugee Committee in the area and Habitat for Humanity, and they have taken a great deal of what we had that was just going to sit there for a while. It's going to good homes, to people who really need it. They don't have much, and that really felt good to me. So that's a new venture with a new outside source, which will be very helpful to us in the future. So we can now take some things we would not normally take and pass them along to them. So bear that in mind when you have something that's a little bigger than we usually take. Call me anyhow. And I get lots of phone calls saying my blender broke or my toaster quit or whatever. We probably have one. So something you need before you go out to the store and buy it, let me know. It helps all of us. It funds all of our activities, and we're still in business. So keep us going.
Thanks, Sally. As part of our quarterly meetings, we like to feature certain committees. And the committee that's being featured today is the Art Committee, and Adele Graham is going to speak about it.
So is this okay? You can all hear me? I was told I had 5 to 7 minutes, and I realized that when I started to think about this, that we do, as a committee, that we are a working committee, even through COVID, and we just are so involved in so many things. Our goal for the committee is to provide EVC residents with a greater appreciation of the arts, enrich the mind, please the eye, and gladden the heart. Now, I know those are kind of flowery terms, but it really kind of expresses how we feel and how passionate we are about helping everybody to enjoy art of one kind or another. Some of the things that we are involved in that you may not realize we do, we have we have the dining room. We have 2 walls in the dining room that will be a gallery once COVID is over. And with that, we do a reception for the artist whose show is hanging that month or 2 months. Along with that, we show a painting by the nurse's office every 2 months. Lasts about 2 months. We provide a movie on art one Sunday every month. Now Carol has taken over because we do it through Channel 88, and this month I think Carol is going to put on a movie that we purchased and gave to her. It's called The Price of Everything, I think. I'm close on that, but watch for it because it's what's happening in the art world, and I mean the art world, plus what's going on here in New York City and across the country. The art market has changed over the years, and I think you'll be fascinated. Plus, you'll see some art that you'll never see in a museum because it's in a billionaire's home, and it will never, unless they have to sell it, it won't be out in the public. So it's changed the whole art world for us. We are responsible for the art studio. If you don't know where it is, it's on B Wing at the end of the hall near entry 2. That art studio is available to all residents. You're welcome to use it for art activities. We supply it with paper, paint, most of the things that you would buy for yourself, but would be very expensive. So we have all of those things there. You're welcome to use them. We do keep some of them locked up. So if you do plan to use the studio and you've never used it before, call someone on the committee. And it's in the newsletter at the very end. There'll be all of the committee members. Any one of them should be able to tell you how to use the studio. Let's see. And entry 12 is another display area. We have a cabinet there. It started out during COVID when we went to the studio and it was locked and we couldn't get in because of COVID. So we decided, well, we didn't need the studio to draw or paint. We could go any place here at Eschaton, and so we started doing that. That little group is now a larger group and still continues to meet every other week. You can, and anyone can join that. You don't have to, if you want to just watch people sketch, you're welcome to come. It's usually in the studio or someplace close by, and you're welcome to come. We offer, sometimes we offer classes, workshops. We go to the Fine Arts Center down the street. How many of you have been to the Fine Arts Center? Oh, good. Oh, great. It's a little gem right out here in the middle of Carmichael. And we have one Saturday a month, we try to invite anyone who wants to go with the art committee over to the gallery to look at their show. We also talk about it in our newsletter. It's a great place to see art, to take a class, to shop in their wonderful little gift shop. So if you can't drive and you want to ride, let somebody on the committee know, and we always have people who drive and will take other passengers. Let's see, I don't want to get into that. We do have our monthly newsletter that covers what's happening here at Eschaton, what's happening locally, and also we usually include the Crocker downtown. So there's a lot of art information in that as well. Let's see, classes, we haven't had many classes. We do have a drawing class, and we'll probably start it again after the new year. So if you've never drawn and you want to learn to draw, that's a great class. Anyone can draw, so that's our belief, and we can prove that. Donna Mahan, who many of you knew, had never tried to draw in her life. And if you were at her memorial service, you saw some of the art that she actually did after a few years. We do provide the resident art show once a year. Those of you who are new here haven't seen it yet. We will be doing that again in March. So watch for the information on it. It's a great way for everyone to participate, because it's not just for artists. It's especially for residents who have something they want to show from their living room or whatever that means something to them. It's a one-day, 2-hour show. The other thing, we're always looking for new ways to get art out into the community, And the latest thing we tried was after I had talked to, where are you? There you are. Talked to Rose one day in early October, and I said, at the end of our meeting, I asked her if there was anything she thought we could do that would be interesting for residents, and what is it that she would like as a resident. She said, I always like the meet the artist that you have at reception, that you have when you have a show in the dining room. Could we do that just for residents? So it sounded like a good idea, and we talked to the committee and planned where we would do it and how large it could be. And I went to Greg with making sure that we covered everything for COVID and weren't having any problems. And I also asked him if he had any ideas, and he said, well, yeah. And he came up with a really good idea that I'm not sharing because we have to do this other thing first. But it would be really great if we can totally pull it off. I have to say that Greg has always been really supportive of any art activity that we've tried to do. And he's come up with new ideas to help us. So it's really rare, I think, to have that in a director anywhere. The one thing that we have is that we started, and I think it was really successful, and we couldn't have a lot of people, and that was Meet the Resident Artist. I know some of you were there last couple of weeks ago, where we had two of our artists bring their work and explain how they conceptualize. This was Rose's idea, and we just built on it. And talk about that. What is it like? How do I start a painting, or what am I doing? And we had Jerry Barnes and John Carty. They did a beautiful job, and we were in the fireside room, so we could not have more than about 20 people in there. And after that, I had over 20 people ask me if we would do it again. They have agreed to do it on November 30th. It's a Tuesday at 2 o'clock. So if you were on the list, or if you want to be notified, let us know. We will put something up in the mailroom for you to sign up. We'll also have something in the newsletter. I have more, but I think that's enough. I passed my time already. Thank you.
Thank you, Adele. It's nice to be brought up to date, and it really is wonderful, all the different things that the Art Committee does. In terms of the little museum up the street, they had an international watercolor exhibit there before COVID. Wasn't that what it was called? I mean, it's really quite outstanding. So if you haven't visited there, it's worthwhile. And it is just up the street. It's even within walking distance for many of us. Let's see what's next. Here we have upcoming events. Paulina, would you like to speak about the meet and greet? Paulina is the liaison for the Wellness Committee. And the liaison for the Wellness Committee. Welcome. For the Welcome Committee, sorry. And in the last couple of years, the liaison for the Wellness Committee, along with resident council members, have coordinated the meet and greet dinners, which have been very popular.
I won't be long. Our Greet and Meet event is meant to meet and greet and inform our new residents about the function of the council and committees, and above all, to meet and greet each other at a dinner we organize for that occasion. Just an aside, this is a meal exchange dinner, meaning save one meal of that day to use for this event. The last one we had organized was the last September, but the COVID quarantine interrupted all the planning, and we had to cancel this, and we apologize about that. We will plan the next one for February, and hopefully we can invite all the new residents that have arrived since March 2020. And I thank you.
Thanks, Paulina. The other upcoming event that I wanted to mention is the fact that at the January meeting, the CFO for Eschaton Corporation will be the guest speaker. His name is Mark Jenkins, and he appears at the Finance Committee meetings on a fairly regular basis. And he's a good speaker, and we asked him to help us understand where EVC fits into the whole scheme of Eschaton Corporation. So that should be interesting. And that's about all I have to say for the meeting, but we cannot forget that we have our executive director who is going to give us an update. Greg?
How about everybody up for just one up. Come on, just one for 1 second. I don't do silly exercises either. Okay, now you can get down. Okay. I go to conferences sometime to make you stand up for 20 minutes and do all these things. I don't know. Anyway, well, it is great to see absolutely everyone here. Boy, we've come a long way, haven't we? I usually use my previous presentation and dust it off to do like my next presentation. And the last one that I had done was like February or March of 2020. I mean, wow. And I think that like the day after that, we went into lockdown. So anyway, we've come a long way. So anyway, it's great to be here. So I thought I'd catch you up on some capital projects that we've done during this year. As you know, because of COVID, I'll go over to my corner here. Because of COVID, we had to suspend doing a lot of the indoor projects. But we did accomplish a lot of stuff outdoors and on the roof and so forth that you may or may not have been aware of. So I got a variety of those to share with you. First one in the main kitchen, cooking 1,000 meals a day, their equipment's pretty well used. And so anyway, they needed a new braising pan. So there's the picture. Was yours at home that big? I don't know, that's a pretty big braising pan. So anyway, so they got that. That made them quite happy, along with a couple of new hot boxes that are used for keeping stuff warm after they've cooked it. So anyway, those are pretty new and high tech, and so they're pretty grateful to have those. And we also installed their new dishwasher, and so hopefully you're... We used paper for so long, I don't know if they remembered how to use it. But anyway, I think they're getting the hang of it again. Now that we're eating in the dining room. And, this is Brian Brennan's favorite. We got the new boilers up on the roof. And you probably thought they were round like a hot water heater. Yeah. Anyway, aren't those beauties? Anyway, they're purring like kittens, I think Intech tells me. They check on them regularly because they're kind of proud of their installation up there. But yeah, hot shower is one of life's simple pleasures, and hopefully this will allow for many of those to come. My wife and I were out of town this past weekend, and we were staying in a nice hotel, but I got up, Sunday morning, because we were leaving Sunday afternoon, take my shower. The boiler to our room was out of service. Yeah, I took the world's shortest shower, let me tell you what. But I still got it in, but boy, it was invigorating. So that was the first cold shower like that in a long time. Also, we put, earlier in the year, we put a new compressor in chiller number 2. So the whole big square box there, that's what a chiller looks like. And that's not the largest of them all, but that's kind of there in the middle. And then you can't really see it in the picture, but at the bottom under the little square cutout there, you can see a little black thing protruding, and that's one of the compressors. And there's 2 that go with that. And without a compressor, you don't have a whole lot of cooling. We also... Believe it or not, we dropped $250,000 on a new, I know it's a lot of money, on a new HVAC control system. And so the system that we had, everything's all the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, it's all run by computers. And the system we had was 20 some odd years old. And so it was starting to not be so reliable, and it was also hard for Intech to find anybody that knew how to use it anymore because it's so old. And so, and then all of the newer equipment that we've bought over time, so the new, boilers that are in, the new chillers we put on the roof, the old system didn't have the capacity or the ability to take advantage of all the energy-saving features that the newer equipment has, as far as ramping them up and ramping them down as demand goes up and down. So anyway, so this new system does that. So anyway, this is just a picture of the home screen that Mike logs into when he wants to adjust the temperature somewhere. And then this is one of the control modules that makes it all work. And then you probably noticed all around the campus, you can see one here, there's probably one on the other side. There's the new temperature sensors everywhere. And so they put those in virtually, every room and public area around the campus. So anyway, as Mike learns to use that more and more, we should start seeing a little more responsiveness out of our HVAC system. And then we also put in about a half a dozen more automatic doors around the apartment building, and I think we did up at the fitness center too, so that was a nice enhancement. We got new seating for the movie room. So those are quite nice, I think. And they have the nice little things that come over with a cup holder. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? All right. And in the care center, we got a new Halo machine, and what it is a Halo fogger, and basically and we got this, way early in the year because of the COVID pandemic. Because in the care center, we called them, red rooms, for COVID positive patients that were there. And so after a COVID positive patient had been in the care center and they moved on, this is filled with a special disinfectant, and you put it in the room and close the door, and it fogs it and gets in absolutely every nook and cranny and kills any germs or bacteria that might happen to be there. So I'm really glad we have that. So that's good for not just COVID, but anybody that might go in there that has something we think might be communicable. We also, for assisted living and also for memory care, we got this cool new device called IN2L, and it's basically an electronic technological activity hub. And so it does all kinds of, I didn't prep myself well enough to explain it, I apologize, but it has all kinds of games and features and tutorials and access to programs on the internet that make for just a really enriching, activity experience in both levels of care. And it even calls bingo. So instead of the activity person, turning the crank and pulling out the things and calling out B7 and D12, this does it for her. So then she can walk around and help other people with their bingo cards. But anyway, it's a really cool system. And maybe in an upcoming meeting, if we have time, I'll get one of our activity folks to roll one in here and show the crowd what it does, because it is really quite a spectacular piece of equipment, and verbalizing it just doesn't do it justice. So maybe we can add that on the agenda sometime if we have time. Let's see. And they got a new race car in the skilled nursing center, a Ferrari apparently. But anyway, they have a similar activity device in there, and they just got this new driving module on it. And I think it's, for hand-eye coordination development. Let's see. And then upcoming projects, the craft room and the exercise room here on the first floor are going to get remodeled. That'll start on or about November 29th. The week before, and I think they're already working on the craft room, we'll start, taking stuff out of there and emptying those two rooms out. And then the work should take about, just a hair over a month, be done on or about January 3rd. And good news, in the fitness room, we are going to get rid of all that equipment, and we're buying all brand new stuff. But hold that applause until it actually shows up, because for all I know, it's sitting on one of those boats off the coast of California. And the room's going to look really pretty, but it'll be empty with my luck. So anyway, we'll keep you posted, but there might be a little lag time in between the room being done and the equipment getting in there, and then some of the equipment might show up at different points in time. But we're ordering it all, and it'll get here hopefully sooner rather than later. Let's see. And the biggest and current landscape project that's going on is the redoing of the CD courtyard. And so Herman's, maybe 35% done. Basically, they pulled out a lot of old stuff and started installing a lot of new, plants and flowers and shrubs and so forth. So I went out and took pictures this morning. The sunlight wasn't the best, but anyway, I think you get the idea. And then also, everybody's little half wall there that goes with their patios. He's cleaning off all of those and repainting those as well, as you can see in this picture. So all the old, moss and stuff that's growing on those, and some of the tree drippings and so forth, that's getting all cleaned off and repainted. So anyway, after it's all done and all those repainted, I think it's going to be real nice and crisp. And then also for that courtyard and as well as other areas around the campus, we do have more nice patio furniture coming to furnish them with, but some of that is on the boats. And so we're hoping to get it soon. We ordered it over a year ago, and we were told it was on a boat like 3 months ago. And a couple of things showed up, but the rest of it's not here yet. But as soon as it's all arrived, I think we have the tables, but not the chairs. So the tables got offloaded, the chairs did not. So anyway, as soon as they get here, we'll get all those out there. But anyway, that'll be a nice addition and should really round out those patios and make them a lot prettier and a lot more useful. Another little picture there. A little picture there. There, that one's got a little color in it. And then, of course, we keep going on with the tree trimming. So anyway, the guys at Hammond Landscaping, tree trimming service have been busy, and so you probably see them regularly each month. And then also, if you live behind the, along the way where the 1,000 cottages are and up, all along the property line there's a lot of big trees that are starting to grow up to where the power lines are. We did have SMUD come out about a week or two ago, and they came through and did a survey. And just so you know, they didn't seem very concerned about anything. But the tree trimming service that they contract with will be out kind of like any day now to take care of those that they thought needed attention. And then a little sales and marketing update. There's our illustrious independent living sales team. And I didn't have time to get a picture of Shanti, our newer assisted living and memory care sales coordinator, but she's been doing a fine job. And as we sit today, independent living's at 99%, assisted living at 95%, memory care at 90%, and skilled nursing was at 86% with 5 open beds. But if I know them, they'll fill those up before the day's out. And then assisted living, if everything goes to plan, I think by this weekend or Monday or Tuesday, assisted living will be at 100%. So things are moving quite along. And we've done pretty darn well throughout the entire pandemic with occupancy here. And then over the last couple of months, sales teams met with and toured about 269 folks, took in 11 deposits, closed 6 deals, and we had 9 move-ins. And then the good news, the sign should be coming down any minute, but the spas are open again. Yay! Don't get me going. It was the government doing its fine work. So anyway, it's done, it's over with, unless they surprise us with something else. But anyway, you should see the sign being ripped off the door if it's not already while we were talking. And please go in and enjoy. And I'm sorry it took as long as it did. It was just ridiculous. And that's my story. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg. Nice to be caught up to date here and to know that things are going to be happening. I have one more thing that I want to talk about, and that is just basically communication and what has kept it going during the downtime. And first of all, I'd like to acknowledge Channel 88 and the whole team because they've done a wonderful job, and they've been funded by Joan Unter, as we know. They have wonderful new equipment. There are no wires going all over the place. Everything is wireless, and they're learning a lot as they go along. I'd also like to thank Village of the Voices. They've kept the communication going, and we have a chance through Voices of the Village to learn about each other in a much more detailed and interesting fashion. And then Gay's newsletter keeps us up to date. So it's just nice to acknowledge these things and all the effort that people put into them. And at this point, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.